That's Serta with a C. And each Serta Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. When choosing a painting professional, the choice is simple. Choose happy. Choose Serta Pro Painters.
Breaking news, information, big name guests, entertainment, and sports. It's all right here on 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock.
Arkansas, an outdoor paradise. People travel hundreds of miles to enjoy what, well, some of us take for granted. We aren't called the natural state without reason. With an abundance of rivers, lakes, and streams loaded with adventure. Scenic views that will take your breath away. Biking trails and back roads just begging to be discovered. Sit back and relax as Ray Tucker and longtime journalist Brian Hendricks explore our magnificent state with this week's edition of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It is absolutely hot outside. We've had some showers in central Arkansas. I don't know where my voice went. I sound like I'm a Disney character over here, but that's okay. It's not the first time.
I am what I am.
What do you got in the box here?
We have Anthony. Tell us what's in the box.
Since we were doing an outdoor show on outdoor cooking, I smoked some ribs.
All right, that microphone's not working. You have to move to that one.
Since we were doing a little bit on outdoor cooking, I smoked some ribs.
I still don't hear you.
Well, I'm trying.
It's coming through.
Is it coming through?
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Yeah, it's just
Okay.
kind of soft.
Well, I've got good hearing, believe me. Better than anybody in this room.
Is
Well,
this the right one?
Talking to both of them, one of them will be right.
Just pull them together.
Looks like
You
a
want me to
press
put mine
conference
over
now.
there too?
I love you, Ray.
See,
Ray, you're my favorite.
I don't hear you.
You know, we had a problem with those mics last week, too. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, that one's
that
on.
works.
Yeah.
Get right up on top of it, would you?
I'm on it.
There you
Okay,
go.
all right. Where were we?
All right, we are here with Ray Tucker.
We got barbecue ribs in the.
We got barbecue
Well,
ribs.
you stay away from it.
Well, it's right here with me.
I know
There's
it.
enough for everybody.
Well,
What kind of
Anyway.
ribs is it, Anthony?
Yeah.
What's that?
What kind of ribs is it?
They are pork smoked ribs. They are spare ribs, to be technical.
oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
And they look pretty good when I brought them up here. I don't know. I never know how they're going to taste, but I hope they please you.
Well, we are going to talk some cooking a little bit later.
There we go.
We're delighted to have Randy Zeller from Arkansas Game and Fish with us. This is a huge weekend for folks. 4th of July weekend. Everybody's headed to the lake. Anybody I talk to, my friends, they go like, "Are you going to the lake?" No, I'm not going to the lake, but everybody else is. And so boater safety is a big issue, Randy.
It is. It is. This time, I mean, this weekend, we'll have a lot of folks out there. Other than Memorial Day weekend, you got 4th of July weekend and Labor Day weekend. Those are the three biggest weekends you have for boating. And a lot of people joining the water. This may be the first time they've been out. So you have to practice a little bit more awareness, and you have to practice a little bit more patience, especially at the boat ramp. So,
Well, I'll tell you a little story about that, Randy. Last night I was touring Lake Hamilton with Captain Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And on his party barge, and there was a bunch of us on there, and this boat full of kids comes flying around there, and, we just about had a collision.
yeah.
And we were able to wave him off. There was a little issue of over who had right away. I trust Captain Jack on that, because he's been doing that forever. We had a little bit of a near miss and came away unscathed, but things can happen.
Oh, absolutely. And it's operator inattention is one of those things that, I mean, especially, like I said, you're out there, you're out having a good time. You got a lot of folks on the boat with you. You got, even if you only have a couple folks or you got somebody you're pulling on a skis or something like that behind you. It's one of those things that if you're not paying attention the whole time, the person driving that boat isn't paying attention the whole time and keeping a proper lookout, it only takes a split second to get in a mess. And boats don't have brakes. So sometimes, there's no pulling out of a bad situation once you made that
So
wrong
if you're
turn.
captaining a boat and you got a skier behind you or somebody on the tube, somebody else has to be watching the
Absolutely.
the
You
tube
want
or skier.
someone else
Yeah.
to be that lookout
Now is that
watching
is that
them.
law or
Yes, that
that's
is law.
what I thought.
Yes.
And another big thing, and I've told this to people for years, and they just act like they're stunned. You can get a DWI driving a boat.
Oh, 100%. And if you get a DWI, we call it boating under the influence, BUI. If you get a BUI ticket, you'll lose your driver's license for your car as well. It doesn't just affect your boating privileges or your, or a fine. that affects your driving privileges as well. That's a state law as well.
You know, boats are bigger, faster, and motors are bigger and faster, and all that stuff. Are the number of accidents going up or down?
Honestly, they stay pretty stable from year to year. So far, we've had a lot of boating accidents so far this year, though. So I talked to Sydney Grant, who's actually our boating law administrator, and she handles all the boating accidents, and she works through all those cases. And so far this year, we've had 29 boating accidents, which is it's kind of high. And unfortunately, we've had 9 fatalities already this year on the waters. So that's not good. And it is something that we absolutely want to be sure to let folks know. There are some things that, number one, obviously, life jackets save lives. I mean, it's in the name. I mean, life jackets save lives, and that's there for a reason. So that life jacket. That's one of the main causes. The number one cause of the boating accidents is boater inattention, not keeping a proper lookout. You know, everybody's just doing their thing, having fun, and they're not looking where they're going. You know, and then the other thing that we run into, especially with 4th of July weekend coming up, I'm not naive. People are going to have some alcoholic beverages when they're out and about. I mean, I'm not going to be a killjoy and say don't enjoy yourself. But you really have to pay attention to how that alcohol affects you on the water. Someone who may be able to have a drink or two and be okay in normal situations, when you're out on the water with all the wave action and that sun beating down, the alcohol has a magnified effect on you on that water. And again, just like we said, I mean, you don't have the brakes, you don't have near the control that you do in a vehicle. So not only are you more impaired than you probably would be, you don't have the ability to get out of it like you would.
All right, we look at our major lakes. A lot of them have fireworks shows.
Yes, yeah.
And talk about running lights.
Yeah, that's one thing that on any federal waters, you have to have running lights. You have to have the blue-green up front, and you have to have the anchor light in the back. That's the all-around white light in the back. And on any federally controlled waters, that's all of our big reservoirs, that's our Arkansas River, all of those, you have to have those. Now, on some AGFC state-owned lakes, you don't have to have those lights, but it's kind of silly. Almost all boats come with them. Go ahead and turn them on. It's not hurting anything to go ahead and turn those lights on to make sure people are aware that you're there.
Yeah, here's another situation that happened last night where Captain Jack's going real slow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're doing a tour. But out in the middle of the water was a young lady in a kayak, no lights. You know, you could not see her until we were right up on her. And I don't know that she was ever really aware that that we just kind of cruised right on by her. And, it was just a strange situation, totally oblivious.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason why you want those lights on that vessel.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is, even Hamilton is a great example. There are a lot of lights on the shoreline, and don't take for granted, even though you have your lights on, that people can see you. So if you see a boat headed your way, and I mean, kind of pay attention, because a few years back, we did have a horrible accident where someone ran completely over another boat, thinking that they were going in between dock lights. And they ended up running over another boat because they didn't see the blue greens. All they saw was the white anchor light from the boat was positioned in a different direction, and they ended up running over the boat, and somebody ended up dying on that. So
yeah, like that thing last night with the kayaker. If somebody in a bass boat comes through there at 70 miles an hour with you can't see out in front of you too well, could have been a bad situation.
That's right.
Well, if you're in a kayak at nighttime on the lake, like Hamilton, Lake Washita, you're just asking for it.
Well, and that's a situation that person was probably trying to get back home, probably lost track of time, and probably trying to get back home. But at that point, you're probably better off go ahead and paddle to shore and call a friend to come pick you up, and try to go ahead, load the kayak up. Don't try to paddle across the lake in the middle of the night with no lights or any way for people to be able to see you.
All right, we're coming up on a break here in about 45 seconds, I think. I do want to talk a little bit about some of our rivers, Buffalo, others. And I've seen people take a 10 and 12-year-old and put them in a canoe and turn them loose, without any instruction whatsoever. And we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we got a story to tell about that, and it wasn't a 10-year-old either.
I bet mine's as good as yours.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah.
We'll compare notes.
So anyway, we're going to take us a little break here on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Going to go pay a few bills, and we'll be right back. Join us. We got Randy Zellers from the Game and Fish Commission and Anthony Michaels, an international adventurer, wild game connoisseur. Headed to Alaska.
Get your hand out of the ribs, Brian. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
This is Pat Bradley, and you've heard it before on The Buzz, how Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union is helping members step into the future with their summer auto loan special. Ultra low rates as low as 1.99%, 84 months financing and no payments for 90 days. Offer valid on new, used, or refinance 23, 24, and 25 models. Deals like this don't last forever. Apply online at alcoacommunityfcu.org and drive into the future with Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union, serving 15 counties across central Arkansas.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. We are visiting with Randy Zellers, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Put the S on it, yeah.
We got Anthony Michaels here, who's getting ready to go to Florida, or excuse me, not Florida, Alaska. after a good sodden,
Just a little difference.
yeah, a little sodden trip on the Buffalo
Highs
River.
are 75, baby.
You know, before we get
Bugs
going,
are a lot bigger there, though, ain't they?
Not where we are.
Oh, okay.
That's a misnomer. Where we are, there's a cool breeze coming off the inlet, so we do not have the mosquito problems.
Oh, good.
No snakes, no ticks, and not too bad on mosquitoes.
but we talk about these boating accidents, and you know, there's statistics, and then there's but these things hit home. I asked you earlier about an accident on Bayou LeGreux last week.
Yeah.
Our good friend Jess Essex. The four people that were involved with that are dear friends of him. I think there were 2 fatalities. And, the town of DeWitt and surrounding area, they're just heartbroken over the loss of those folks. And, our heart goes out to them. These are real stories, real people that are involved in these things.
And these are it's tragic because just about every boating accident, people were out having a good time. They were out to have a good time. It's totally unexpected. And it's the last thing you can imagine. I'm going to go out and go fishing, or I'm going to go out and go play on water skis. Not coming home isn't even a thought that crosses your mind.
Right.
So it's tragic when it happens.
And those were young people, too, very young.
Yes, they were.
Yeah. There was another situation that happened, kind of switching gears a little bit, really strange, about a hunting accident this time of year.
Yeah, we had it actually occurred earlier today, or actually last night. We had someone who was coyote hunting, and unfortunately they misidentified their target and ended up shooting someone, and unfortunately ended up being that person's daughter. And it's a horrible situation. So that's still all under investigation. Everything's still going on right now for that to find out exactly what happened. But it's a tragic situation, and those are all things, just like I said, just like it's the same way with boating and with hunting. These are things that people go out with the intention, I'm going to go out in the outdoors, I'm going to enjoy the outdoors, and not coming home or being involved in something like that. It really is. It's the last thing that crosses your mind, and when it does happen, it's a horrible thing. So.
All right, article in the paper today about I guess it's a bow season in some of our cities, 9 cities.
Well, we actually have the opening for the application period for the urban deer hunts.
Okay.
And that actually takes place. That won't take place until September 1, and we do have a few cities that we work with, and that's actually pretty rigorous. They go through that. You have to have bow hunter education to be a part of it. You have to go through a qualifying process where you go through orientation, and anytime it's all with archery only, and anytime you're hunting. You're in an area that, when people say they're bow hunting, urban bow hunting, most of these places are like Hot Springs Village, things like that, where I'm not down on the corner of Markham with a bow walking around on the sidewalk. It's still pretty rural, and one of the requirements is also you have to be elevated. You have to be in an elevated stand, so you're shooting down toward the ground, so the arrow doesn't have much of a chance to deflect or go skip off somewhere else. And then those hunters that participate during their qualification, they actually have to put 3 arrows in a kill zone of a deer target from 20 yards, and they get 3 arrows to shoot, and they got to put all 3 in the kill zone of that target before they can move forward to do the hunt.
Boy, I'd be out of business.
Yeah, the people that participate in that hunt and those hunts are very avid.
Absolutely, most of them are members of bow hunting organizations or archery organizations where. That's what these people love to do anyway. Is they're going to go bow hunting even during rifle season. They'll bring a bow instead. So
I have a friend that lives up here corner of Cantrell University. Mm-hmm. It has as many as 10 deer in her backyard.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, and that's when it comes to Little Rock does not have one.
I know that, but you'd sure like to shoot them.
Yeah. Well, that's I know a lot of people that have called in the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission after taking a walk at Two Rivers Park in September and want to know when we're going to open up something in Two Rivers Park, and that's honestly the city of Little Rock are the people that control that, and that's almost all of the urban hunts. They originate from the city requesting it to the Game and Fish Commission to help them with the deer population there. A lot of times the deer get overpopulated in a particular area, and they start. Believe it or not, if I could plant a food plot, the number one plant I'd probably put it in is hostas, because deer absolutely love hostas. I don't know what it is, but anything that you are trying to grow as your prized little thing in your flower bed, it's delicious to a deer. I don't know what it is.
And don't they like azaleas?
Yep, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So yeah,
You
again,
eat them right down to the ground, I'm told.
So, but yeah, hostas are for some reason that's candy. I mean, like I said, I may plant a food plot one day just in hostas just to see what happens.
And they probably won't touch it out there.
There you go. They'll know something's up then. So
yeah, you know, the urban bow hunting, those people are so avid. And you talk about a group that polices itself. There is no monkey business that goes on in those
absolutely.
ones. You know, they're very protective of it, and they don't tolerate, you know, any kind of unsafe behavior, any kind of even the thought of illegal activity out there. So
that's right. I mean, it is because you do have even in those cities where the city has come along and said we need this. You're always going to have one or two people that live there that, you know, that they're not really in favor of hunting. They don't quite understand why we do these urban hunts as far as reducing that deer population right there where they can cause human conflicts. So we do have, you know, we have to always mind our P's and Q's when it comes to those urban hunts and make sure that we put the best foot forward on that.
All right, we're going to take a pause here on Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, coming to you live from our Honda North Little Rock studios here at 103.7 The Buzz. We're here Monday nights, 7 to 8 o'clock. You didn't know I could talk that fast, did you, Brian?
It's been a while.
Anyway, we're going to talk cooking. Back in a moment.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Paid for by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
Shipments of spring and summer fashions are arriving at Bell & Sword. That means swimwear from Saks, Peter Noir golf wear and shirts, Johnny O's store within a store. Be sure to check out the Faraday line and Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. So hurry in for a great value on quality men's clothing at Bell & Sword for your spring and summer items, and you'll look fantastic. Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street in downtown Conway on Facebook and Instagram.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Time now to talk to Neil Atkinson with Sarah's Casino Resort down in Pine Bluff. Neil, how are you this evening?
Doing pretty good, Ray. Just trying to get ready and beat this heat and just keep up with all that's going on. Got Wimbledon going on. That's keeping me up early in the morning and checking that out. Also, and baseball is really, really big this time of year. Just about 2 weeks away from the All-Star break. And then don't forget, tomorrow night we got the WNBA. They got the Commissioner's Cup, which is their mid-season tournament. You got the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx are in that. Ryan Clark, superstar for the Indiana Fever, which is everybody's got a lot of interest in the WNBA because of her, is still listed as questionable with a groin injury, and the Minnesota Lynx are favored by 6.5 on that tomorrow night.
How many people wager on Wimbledon?
You know, it's one of the biggest tennis events of the year other than the U.S. Open. And the only reason the U.S. Open beats it is because, you know, the matches are all on our time. So we miss out on a lot of action because people forget to bet them or get up early in the morning, especially in the early rounds. But it's the second biggest tournament of the year behind the U.S. Open.
Neil, always a pleasure to visit with you. A lot of baseball going on, too. I know that keeps you busy.
Oh, absolutely. And we're just 31 days away from the first NFL preseason game and not that far away from college football either. Make sure you hit the football tab, check out all the futures. Also, while you're on the app, make sure you check that promo page. Got some Wimbledon specials, got some GOAT moments, and just hit that and opt in and have a good time on that. And if you're in watching TV, trying to beat the heat this summer.
Neil, appreciate all you do. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
And we're back with Ray. And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors.
I always tell you we need Jiffy Lube as a sponsor. This is a well-oiled machine when I'm running it.
Yeah, not too often. You dial right into a busy signal.
That's a good sound effect, though. You need to record that and do it on purpose occasionally.
That's right.
We hung up before I could get him cut off. That's what happened.
So we're visiting with Randy Zellers of the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. We've got Anthony Michaels here with, how do we describe Anthony Michaels?
Oh, someone who just enjoys life.
A staple in our community.
Staple in our community.
A staple in our community.
Where were we going with this?
We want to talk a little bit about their water safety classes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do have boating education. We have boating education classes that go on pretty much year-round. And then there's online version now. The online version, I will tell you, I mean, you can take it online. You can get it done pretty quickly if it's what you need. But that comes at a cost. The folks that host that online platform for us, it costs $70 to do it. If you don't want to spend that money, you're welcome to come. We have classes that go on year-round with volunteers and with educators. All of those classes are free. You show up in person, you take the class, and then you take the test there. It is an all-day course that you're going to spend all day. You're going to spend about 8 hours there. But honestly, it's kind of like how Hunter Ed is. You're probably going to learn a lot more from that instructor, and you're going to learn a lot more real-world examples from that instructor than you will from an online course. So I always suggest people do the in-person classes. One, it's free, and it costs you some time, but it is free. And then two, you're going to get a lot more out of it because you're going to have interactions with human beings instead of a computer. So,
all right, this segment's sponsored by Brian, called Shake and Bake.
Shake and Bake. It's Shake and Bake, Mama, and we helped. But we've got, everybody's got freezers full of game and fish, and everybody's been out
Mm-hmm.
catching crappie. They got the forward-facing sonar, so everybody's got limits of crappie. And for those of us that grew up in Arkansas, especially of a certain age, we learned to eat venison by throwing it in a skillet with some batter and eating it that way. And it took me a long time to get over that, Randy. And fried fish is kind of the way it is, but there's a lot of different ways to prepare wild game that's just delicious. And we're just going to kind of go up and down the line here and talk about our favorite ways to do it. What's your favorite crappie way to fix crappie?
Okay, I know, and this is, first of all, if any, fried is going to be obviously number one, but I'm going to tell you something. This is a thing that I started doing last year just because I was lazy. I took some blackened seasoning and doused crappie fillets in that, and then sprayed it with a little bit of olive oil and ran it in an air fryer. And that actually turned out pretty darn good. It's not blackened, but it's pretty darn good doing it that way.
And Brian, you got an air fryer.
I do have an air fryer.
And again, it's the lazy way to do it. I mean, it didn't very messy at all. So
the problem that I always have with those coatings and stuff is that I can't keep it from balling up on my fish. And it's always inconsistent. I really envy the people that can get it nice and even. Anthony, what's the trick?
Well, I apologize. I do not
fry fish.
Fry fish.
All right, never mind. Randy, what's the best way to do that?
To keep it from balling up on your hands?
Well, no, all over the fish. It's like you got bare spots and you got it all clumped up here, and you can't even it out. How do you prep your fish to do what we're talking about?
Normally, one of the things I'll do is I'll go ahead and put in a little bit of mustard and a little bit of hot sauce on the fish fillets before I start, and then I'll pack it when I bring it over to a cornmeal dredge or something like that. I'll go ahead and put it in there, and it's not soaking wet or anything like that. It's just got a little bit of it. And then when I push it down in there, my hands are going to get all that globbed up stuff on it. But just pressing it down in there once on each side, and then pretty much that's it, and not letting it break apart from there. And then let it sit for a couple of minutes before you go put it in the fryer too. If you're putting it in right after you put it in that dredge, a lot of it's going to end up in your oil and not on the fish.
Got it. So when you do the air fryer, you don't have anything you're frying it in?
Right. No. With that, with the air fryer now, the air fryer is a totally different thing. All I'm doing with that air fryer, it's a clean fillet. I'll pat it dry, and then I'll shake on blackened seasoning, just like I was going to blacken a fish. I'll shake that on.
Just one side?
Both sides. I'll flip it, and then spray a little bit of olive oil on top of it on one side, and then set it in that air fryer that's already hot and let it. It's grilling fish, basically, is what it's doing then.
Now, the tournament guys are going to have a cow over this, but Game and Fish does recommend that people eat bass.
It is okay to eat a bass occasionally. That's why we have limits.
Right.
Now, one thing, if that fish has gotten up to 4 or 5 pounds, honestly, you're better off going ahead and release him, let him grow another day. It's totally legal to keep him if you want to, but your better eating fish are going to be those fish that are sitting there in that 12 to 15 inch range.
Do not keep the big bass.
No, now the thing is, and if you do catch a 3 or 4 pounder, sometimes occasionally you hook one in the tongue, or you hook him in an area that that fish isn't going to survive. Yeah. It's okay to keep a fish occasionally, even a big fish occasionally. If that fish is going to die anyway, it's fine to harvest that fish. That's what it's there for. That's why fishing was invented to begin with, is to eat them. So there's nothing wrong with occasionally eating a fish, and you're actually helping. Especially when it comes to those smaller fish. And there's only so many mouths that lake can feed at a time, and so by you removing some of the competition, you're actually making the remaining fish, they're growing a little bit faster, and some of your larger fish are going to grow a little bit bigger. So
how would you describe the taste of a 14 to 16 inch bass versus a crappie versus a walleye?
I will tell you that I've put, especially when it comes to spotted bass, I've put, spotted bass from Lake Maumelle or spotted bass from, Greer's Ferry or somewhere like that. I've put those on a plate beside, fried catfish. I put them on a plate beside, fried crappie and things like that. And honestly, most folks really can't tell the difference except in the texture of the meat. the flavor is about the same. Now, again, you get a ditch pickle, you get an old largemouth that's been sitting in the backwaters of the Arkansas River. Yeah, he's going to taste a little different. He's going to be a little muddy.
What did you call him?
Ditch pickle. Yeah, he's a ditch pickle. And we got a guy out at Cooks Lake that his name's Will Hafner, and I've been on him for years. I want him to make a recipe and name it Half Daddy's Fried Ditch Pickles, and he won't do it because he knows it's going to draw some heat.
Well, you can run into a lot of trouble just trying to say that real fast. Yeah. So, and then we talk about those, but there's a good big bluegill or a red ear is a delicious fish to eat as well. Yeah. What's the best way to cook them?
As a kid, I still stick with that. Scale them, and cook them whole. And I was that kid that I enjoyed the heck out of when you fry them whole. The fins, eating them, as a little kid, you're calling them a potato chip. They ain't a potato chip, but it's a neat little thing, and they taste pretty good.
So some potato chips with a ditch pickle.
There you go.
What a meal! What a meal!
Yeah, some of the best fish I ever had was at an American Legion baseball tournament at Burns Park, and they were deep frying these bluegills, and the batter was the Colonel's secret recipe, is what it tasted like, and it was. I mean, I foundered on them. It was some of the best things I'd ever had. How about you, Ray? What's your favorite way?
You know what? I'm a catfish guy. And a crappie guy. You gave me some walleye.
Yeah.
And I've not had a chance to cook it yet. You gave me some, what do I have, elk from you?
You gave me elk.
It's,
I don't know
it's
if
in a
you've gotten halibut.
It's in a package, and it looks like
That was elk.
roll of sausage.
That was elk.
Elk.
Correct.
I didn't get any of that.
Well, you got to be nice, like Ray, to get your elk sausage.
And me, if you're really nice, I'll give you a rib or two.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break. Back in a moment.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
Folks, a lot of us are familiar with consistent pain. I've got it middle of my back, right side. It bothers me always about 2 miles into any walk or run. And if you're like me and you've got that consistent pain in your joints and your muscles, it's time to do something about it. Hey everybody, Josh Neighbors here for QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. They've got cellular level treatments that help your body heal itself. And this is big. 92% of patients report satisfaction with their results. That's not just a number. That's peace of mind that what you're exploring is something that truly works for people who are just like you. Real results that let you move easier and live better. And it costs nothing for a second opinion. You get the luxury of having a licensed medical provider go over your X-ray or MRI results and see if you're a good fit for these groundbreaking treatments. Call QC Kinetics today at 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. Our team of experts can become your outsourced IT department, solving problems even before you know about them. We provide and maintain everything from servers and network infrastructure to printers and digital copiers. As a family business with over 80 years of history in Little Rock, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. If you're ready to get your IT in order, visit captg.com and sign up for a free consultation.
Natural State Wholesale in Cabot has all kinds of flooring: tile, vinyl, hardwood, waterproof wood, and laminate. Their price will not be beat. Create a beautiful new bathroom with bathtubs, vanities, faucets, fixtures, and toilets. Tile for showers. New specials always coming and going, but always great wholesale pricing. 2011 North 2nd Street in Cabot. Go see the Flooring King Don Grisham himself. They're now open on Saturdays, 8 to noon.
At the Bet Saracen Sportsbook app, we realize lots of you have thought about opening an account, but you just haven't made that move yet. Well, now's the time with our new player offer. It's easy. You just sign up, use the code WELCOME, deposit at least $25, place a $25 bet, and that's it. Once that bet settles, you'll have $125 in free bets ready to go. Bet Saracen, the most popular sportsbook app in the state. Download it today on all your devices. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Welcome back to Shake and Bake here at 103.7 The Buzz. Ray Tucker, Brian Hendricks, Randy Zellers, Anthony Michaels. We're talking about how to prepare some fish and different things. You're getting ready to go on a big trip. Tell us about it.
Yeah. Well, we do our first trip to Alaska. We were head up to Ninilchik. We've got a cabin up there, and we're going to have an eventful summer. First of all, the fish, this is probably one of the greatest years in a long time for the salmon run in Alaska. King salmon is off limits just because of various issues. They're just not reproducing or getting up in. But between the coho, which is the silver salmon, and the sockeye, which is running right now in all the rivers near us, it's just, as you would say, off the charts. So we will go up there, foremost, hit that 75-degree weather high. And like I said, it's beautiful weather up there. Typically the lows are 40, the highs are 75. And then we'll hit, we'll get to Ninilchik probably the 6th or 7th, and then we'll start fishing the rivers then. And then I'll be up there for about a month. We've got an overnight trip that we're doing this year, which is going to be incredible because you're going out in the ocean and fishing all night. And another trip, we're going to try the legendary Copper River this year, where everybody hears about Copper River salmon, you know, Copper River pink salmon. You see them in the stores and everything. We have to drive, you know, Alaska is a huge state, and we'll drive 5 hours from our place to get around to the other side, Alaska, get around to a place where we'll fish on the Copper River if hopefully the kings will still be in season. They won't have cut them off by then, and then we'll fish for the sockeyes. Or say snag the sockeyes.
So they'll shut the season down early if they've reached a quota. Do they have like a quota or something that they do? Or?
Well, if they don't hit the quota, it's actually reverse because they want so many fish to get upstream. On the kings, they do both hatchery fish, and it's very sophisticated in what they do on trying to get their hatchery fish. The game and fish does a real good job in trapping the kings as they come up. And they will actually manually take the eggs out and then, you know, put them into incubation and raise them themselves. And then those are called hatchery fish. And those you can legally catch. And you don't have to return them or anything. You notice that, but I hate the word. I don't know if I can say it right. Anole, there's a little bitty fin that they cut off on hatchery kings. And so the hatchery kings are in season. I think they still will be. It's just a matter of if they do not get, I'll give you an example of the Kenai River. The Kenai River wants about 7,000 to 8,000 fish to make it up past the sonar. And so I don't know how they can tell the difference between a king, which a king weighs 30 to 50 pounds, and a sockeye coming upstream, but they think, I mean, obviously they can count them. And so they're looking for a fish count of at least to get, you know, I want to say 7,000 or 8,000 and which is not very many, because when you judge it to the sockeyes, if you ever look up the Alaskan fish count on their website, the sockeye will probably hit, they'll hit 1 million fish. You'll have 1 million fish, and so they say you're flossing them, which I disagree with the term. You're snagging them. Because sockeye do not eat when they hit the river. I don't care what anybody says, and I've heard all these stories about catching them with a jig, but you're snagging them. And you have to legally snag them, which is an odd term, but you're snagging them, and when they're in the river, if they're not in the river, you're not going to catch anything, because obviously you're trying to snag. But when they're in the river thick, they're hitting your legs. They're jumping up right in front of you, and you're catching a fish probably every third cast.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Or snagging a fish, and then that's when everything breaks loose, because I've had them break braided line. I've had them break my fly line. I've had one break my Scott fishing rod. But it was like you said, in a while, not paying attention. And I pulled a 10-pound sockeye, which was huge, up to the bank. And I remember I said, it was one of my first times up there. I said, I got him because he's on the bank. And they never quit. And so he took off real quick and just snapped the end part of my Scott rod off.
There's a lot of people listening to this that would really love to do that. And you've been doing it a long time. You've got a system down. You know how to get there, where to go, how to go and all that. But for somebody that would like to do this for like the first time, what would be some tips that you would have for them?
The very best advice I could give you is to get on the forums with other people here in Arkansas. And it's like, I'll give you an example. I got lucky. I had a friend who 25 years ago, Jeff Fuselier over in Hot Springs Village, was bugging me saying, you've got to go to Alaska. You will love it, because he knew I loved to fish and everything. And I put it off, and he says, no, I'm buying your ticket. I owe it to Jeff Fuselier. He actually took me on my first Alaskan fishing trip. And I went with guys who knew the ropes, because it's mainly just a technique in snagging them. And sockeye fishing is just awesome, because once you catch one, it's like a tuna in fresh water. But so you get somebody, and just like I'll give you a cousin. I'm taking my cousin up there the first time this year. If he's out there, Stanley Hancock is getting to go to his first time. He's a big-time fisherman and hunter here, and he talked me, and he said, I want to go. And so he's going up there with me. And so just like in that way, you find somebody who's been going. The easiest, least expensive way to go is find somebody who's been going up and then go with them. Outside of that, probably the best way is, but it starts to get expensive, is you just get up there, find a place to stay somewhere around either Seward, which has good area, Soldotna or Ninilchik or Homer, in those areas, because it's easy to fly into Anchorage and then drop down, 2 or 3 hours, get to a place, and then just hang out and, go your first year with an outfitter. You're going to pay about $300 a day. They're going to take you out, and they know where the fish are. And when I say they know where the fish are, they know where the salmon are schooling up and pooling, because what they do is they're moving about 11 miles a day coming upriver. And what happens is they'll get into certain spots, even on where we fish it, and I fish it specifically on the Rotary Club Island on the Kenai River. Well, I see people that I see every year from Arizona, from Washington State, Texas, Georgia. We all know each other, and we all have our certain hole that we love to fish, because our drift, our technique works for that area. And there's certain spots on that island where the fish pull up, and when they're in, you just one person after the next walking to the side, pulling their fish out of the water. And it's called combat fishing. And you need to look it up. To understand it, watch a video of combat fishing. It's not exactly that, but you're standing basically within 5 to 10 feet of each person beside you, and everybody's pulling in a fish when they're running. And so it gets nuts, because you start getting your line tangled up with everybody else, because the salmon, even though you've got good equipment, he can take off downstream, and you can't stop him. I mean, you have to let him run out, and that's why I switched to braided, so I don't get my line cut anymore. It's little tricks you learn over the years that, but in going your first time, the best time to go is obviously, I would say, very late June right now through mid-July. And July, typically, the end of part of July is the biggest run of sockeye. It's the second run of sockeye, so that'd be the safest, say around the 15th or 20th. If you can't find somebody from around here, and there are a lot of people from Arkansas that go up there. We run into Arkansans up in the Aleutian Islands when I go to that in September. But anyway, you find somebody or you use an outfitter, and that's your first time. And once you see how it's done, you're going to catch on pretty quick. It's not rocket science.
Randy Zellers, you going to sign up for the trip?
It sounds pretty good. It really does. It sounds like catching, not fishing, is what it sounds like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is the best part.
We'll be back with our final segment right after this.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
A sale 200 million years in the making. It's Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event. Get out of that old fossil into a new GMC Sierra starting as low as $479 a month. Every new Buick on the lot at 0.9%. During Gwatney Buick GMC's loan and lease extinction event, we're rendering your current loan completely extinct. Make an appointment to get out of the dinosaur you're currently driving. 501-945-4444. 2025 Sierra 2500 HD. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP. Sierra 1500 with up to $12,500 off. Terrain's at just $279 per month. It's the loan and lease extinction event at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30833, 31064, 31456. Terrain is a low-mileage lease.
Looking for a big new game to play? Well, there's no game bigger than the new dino-sized Jurassic World scratch-off games from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery, which gives you a chance to win up to $200,000 instantly. And if that weren't enough, you can enter for a chance to win an exciting trip to beautiful Hawaii, where you could win up to $1 million. So get down to your local lottery retailer today, and welcome to Jurassic World. Must be 18 or older to play. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
I don't think the morning crew would be happy with us if we started eating ribs in the studio, and management probably wouldn't like it either. Randy Zellers, Arkansas Game and Fish, big boating weekend safety tips.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the safety kind of starts at the ramp. That's one thing that I'll mention is, when you get out there, realize that there are going to be a lot of people launching and loading boats. So if you can, go ahead, pull over to the side, get your stuff in order. Don't pull down on the ramp and try to get your stuff there and have everybody loading up on the ramp because you got a lot of people that'll be coming and going on that ramp at the same time. Not only are you holding things up, but you're taking a chance on walking around where somebody's backing up and they may not be able to see the kids or somebody like that that's wandering around waiting on your boat. So that's, that safety starts at the ramp, and it's just good courtesy. Then once you're out on the water, always the life jacket. That's the number one thing we always tell folks is, almost every boating fatality we have could have been prevented with the use of a properly fitting U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket. That's exactly what we have to say. But that's, that life jacket now, it's mandatory for kids who are 12 and under. They have to be wearing a life jacket no matter what, anytime they're on that boat. The only exception to that is if it's like a houseboat or a big party barge that has railing up where they can't, fall off the side like that, and it can't be underway. Even when that's underway, they got to have those life jackets on. Other than that, you have to have a properly fitting U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket on board the vessel for every person who's on there. And if you have a vessel that's over 16 foot, you have to have a throwable as well to toss out. And all of that has to be within easy reach. They don't have to, you don't have to wear it, but it does have to be on an easy reach. And honestly, with the inflatable life jackets they have now, I've actually loaded up the boat and drove halfway home before I realized I hadn't taken off my inflatable. So they're actually, you don't even realize they're there sometimes. So that's another good one. And then the other one is the alcohol thing that I mentioned earlier. You always want to keep a proper lookout. And again, if you're going to have an alcoholic beverage, hey, I'm an adult too. I understand everything's fine, but just realize those things impair you a lot more when you're out in the sun and on the water than they would if you were sitting at home, in the air conditioning. So those are some major things to worry about.
So we're talking about those inflatables, and you're right, man. They're the most comfortable things ever. Uh-huh. But I'm a canoe guy.
Oh, okay.
And if you get
wet, I was waiting for us to get to this.
If you get
You've
wet,
had one spring on you.
Oh yeah, not just once. And tell you what, you talk about something that will surprise you.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah. So they're great. Probably not the best thing to wear for canoes, as comfortable as they are. But.
No, and I've actually had the pull tab on them, the manual pull tab. I've had that hang up on my kill switch. And that's something when you're running a boat, you have a kill switch there. Well, I've had my kill switch line kind of get wrapped over the top of that manual, and when I stood up, it not only did it kill the kill switch, but it popped that line too, and it inflated on me. So it kind of spooks you. And those things, they're meant to open fast, so they do.
Mine didn't open that time. Remember that?
Well, that brings us to another thing is, like, if it's an inflatable life jacket that you bought 3 or 4 years ago, they have charging kits. Go ahead and swap out the charging kit because those things do have a lifespan.
Ray never put the CO2 cartridge in his.
Oh, he never did? Well, okay, there you go.
I didn't know you had to.
Well, now you do.
Well, I've got another one. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
That's the cartridge, okay?
Ray, I do think it's a disservice that we didn't get to talk about the destruction of the aluminum boat on the Crooked Creek because that's a life-saving situation where our friend here, Brian, could have helped other people not destroy a boat on the Crooked Creek.
Well, what do you mean I could have helped him not destroy a boat? I had no influence over that situation.
I think you're standing on the bank laughing is what you were doing.
All I know is a boat was wasted.
There we go. I'll wrap that into another tip, and that is make sure you're using the proper type of vessel for the water you're fishing. If you're on a narrow creek, a long 21-foot aluminum boat, 22-foot aluminum boat may not be the best idea in swift current in a narrow stream.
I really can't.
Just like an inflatable may not be the best idea to be sitting out in the middle of Lake Washita.
Brian, so. you sunk the Mayflower on Crooked Creek.
No, I didn't. I wasn't even in it. But I'm going to tell you this: I can't think of a situation where that boat would be an appropriate thing to have out there.
All I know is a friend of mine, Monty Davenport, had told me.
We know Monty.
It was a horrible situation.
It really was. If you've seen a boat that started out in good shape and it twists itself into a corkscrew.
He did say that, yes.
Yeah, it looked just like that. It was a bad, water coming in and going out just as fast as it was coming in.
What would you have done if Monty hadn't been around?
Well,
they'd be crying.
we'd probably still be there hauling things out. You know, it was a bad situation. It really was.
I'm probably going to have to take him some ribs over this. I'm sure.
Monty?
Yes.
Yeah, probably. Monty has helped me and you.
He's helped. He saved me on my Buffalo River trip, and we won't get into that. But
well, why
Monty
not? Whoa! Why not? Why are we not getting into that?
Because it was well planned. Everything I thought of, I did, and it turned into an ugly adventure. That's all I can say.
As they often
and Monty
do. Yeah.
saved me.
Well, we've got.
No, we don't. Please don't tell me we got enough time to go over this.
Oh no, we got 10 seconds left. And so anyway, Randy, thank you for coming in.
That was great.
Taking time. Anthony, always a pleasure.
My pleasure.
Always
sir.
a pleasure. You folks, please be safe on the waterway. And let me say this: when you're launching your boat, make sure the plug's in.
Absolutely.
I've done that.
I've seen people do it.
Y'all got to do it once.
Folks, y'all have a great week and a great 4th of July.